Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. It is Tuesday, March 11th, 2014. Very windy and cold day now. It was incredibly hot earlier. I guess a front came through. Then the dust, and then the cold. That said, last night, pretty epic night. You can see why here on the pool table. My nephew and I went on a hunt. Really, probably one of the only times I wish I would have recorded it. For the simple fact that we found all four of the Wave 4 singles that have been hitting at Walmart. It was just a matter of how we found them. Every one of these had been stashed purposefully by someone. Frino and Firebone Hot Dog weren't too bad. Frino was at the back of a peg, mixed in, turned backwards. Firebone Hot Dog, there are actually two. That was the only one that there were two of these left. He was kind of like down, hidden in with the starter packs behind some other stuff. Scratch and Jetvac. Where's the last place you would look for Skylanders? You're a cool guy. Skylanders is your favorite game. You're on the hunt for Wave 4.
Ooh.
Tell me, where is the last place you would look for these characters?
Well, on that row, probably Disney Infinity.
Disney Infinity is the correct answer. No self-respecting Portal Master goes to the Disney Infinity section and says, hey, I better dig through all this stuff that's fallen off the pegs because I bet Scratch and Jetvac are there. Somehow we caught an employee. Didn't really have much of a clue what was going on. We were told pretty much your typical Walmart experience. Was pretty nice. We'll give him credit for that. He came over. He was trying to scan things. You know, it wasn't going well. While we were passing time while he did that, we just kind of bumped in. I think my nephew and I bumped into the little... It was overflowing the floor, basically. And that's when there was a Skylander package, and I was like, oh, somebody was probably trying to steal something, and be danged if it wasn't Turbo Jetvac. A little bit of mining like this through all the rubble that is the Disney Infinity stockpile. We found Scratch, which is really cool. Scratch, out of these four, Scratch is the character my nephew is looking the most forward to. This will be the only video we kind of give you this bonus information, but then you said Frino.
Yeah.
Then Turbo Jetvac, then Firebone Hot Dog. Logic there if you're my nephew. He's big time into cats, not so much into dogs. That said, Firebone Hot Dog should be insanely popular based on what we saw in Giants. Me personally, I'd mentioned this before. I was probably the most excited about seeing Frino's figure. I think Scratch may end up being the better character. That's just based on fire and air experiences in the past. Turbo Jetvac, I'm actually a huge Jetvac fan. I've been looking forward to this guy. I kind of like the black and blue look this time. I'll cover that in more detail. And my fourth favorite, again, Firebone Hot Dog. Is a pretty, fun character, just not a personal favorite. Plus, I think he should have been a light core. More on that later. So, we technically don't need these three guys anywhere near the area. Gonna keep our attention now on Scratch again. This little intro bonus information for you only here. Chase McCain is hidden by my nephew. What would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10?
Scratch?
No, how hard it is going to be finding Chase McCain.
It's fairly difficult.
Okay. Maybe like a 7 or something?
Yeah, 6.5, 7.
All right. Well, he rated that. I kind of showcased the packaging to you. Looks really good. I think Scratch is going to go over extremely well with people. Particularly, those of you into cats, dragons. A lot of people, I think, assumed she was a dragon. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure yet. I hadn't really checked into things. Anyway, her slogan, very cool. Tell them what their slogan is.
The luck of the claw.
What do you think of that?
Well, it's kind of like...
check out those claws, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays them.
It's kind of like
Lucky
the
cat.
luck of the draw.
Yeah.
But
now check this out. Obviously, I have not played her at all. The mask looks very different in that box art than it does on the figure. I don't know if that's going to be a default deal or added on. Other featured Skylanders are going to be Hornblast Whirlwind Turbo Jetvac, conveniently. Popthorn is going to be your other air element Newlander, excluding, of course, your swappers. And, of course, Scratch. Scratch, since she is a Swap Force Newlander, what games does she work with?
Swap Force,
That's
Swap
correct.
Force, and Swap Force.
Exactly, that's it. As a Newlander, she's not going to be a playable character in SSA or Giants. Will work just fine in Swap Force console and 3DS, as well as all of your iOS and Android apps. Now, price Walmart, $9.96. The 3 cents really isn't worth it to me to stand in line for an hour at like 10:45 at night. But whatever floats your boat, I suppose. While we open her up, what? You want to read her story?
Okay.
We're going to let my nephew read the story since this is the one he was the most interested in.
Okay. High in the peaks of the Cat's Eye Mountain sits a towering city of crystal and gold that can only be reached by creatures of the air element. It was here that Scratch spent her youth, soaring playfully in the clouds or exploring the endless number of crystal mines. One day, an army of pirate rebels arrived in a fleet of airships looking to steal ancient magic crystals buried deep in the mountain. Donning specially made armor, Scratch led in an epic battle against the pirates, using her incredible fighting skills to defend the crystals and save the city. Tales of her heroism soon made their way to Jetvac, who traveled to Cat's Eye Mountain and recruited Scratch to join the Skylanders.
Okay, I love that background story. It's pretty epic, right?
Yeah. I have a favorite attack.
What's that?
Cat Scratch.
I knew you would like that. You should know, if you've watched enough of my videos, with some of these swappers, coming out, you're starting to get some pretty interesting background stories. Roller Brawl had the run-in with Chaos. He wanted to date her. Star Strike slaughtered Chaos, yada yada. The ones I really liked, though, were the ones that involve multiple characters, like Double Trouble coming across Zulu, things like that. So, in this case, this area is only accessible by air element characters. Jetvac's come in, he's heard stories about Scratch, the two meet up, they talk, it's like, hey, you should be a Skylander, fight evil with me, and then go off, and she became a Skylander, so that's really cool. Yeah, and as you can see with Jetvac up there, he's also over here. As I mentioned, I am a big Jetvac fan, so other thing, if you noticed when I unboxed that, pretty easy if you want to reseal it for display purposes, take pictures and put her back in, whatever. This is awesome because this wave, thus far, we'll check the other three, doesn't have tape. That makes your life so much easier if you do that sort of a thing. Now, we're going to come in here. You get Scratch. There she is. We'll push her back a little bit. You get her stat card. You get the sticker sheet. Sticker sheet, there's the artwork. There's the name, QR code, web code below that. Can't show it to you because there are people, sadly, that pirate those from videos. Now, let's take a look at her stats. Why don't you go ahead and... okay, never mind. What I will do, as you should know, the cards on the stats, stats on the card don't match up. But power or strength, 110 out of 200. Defense or armor, 65 of 200. That seems kind of low given her background story. Speed, agility, 100 out of 200. Luck, 65 of 200. Add all that up, we've got 210. And then that would be 130, so 340 out of a potential 800 on the card. Now, why don't you tell people what her base stats are here in the real world?
Maximum health, 260. Speed, 50. Armor, 6. Critical hit, 8. Mental power, 25. Wait,
oh yeah, I was going to say, mental power, never before seen in any other Skylander. Scratch can use her insanely intense cat brain to make you do things. Like pet her and tell her, come kitty, come. Anyway, what do you think of this figure? I mean, just initial impressions when you see her.
I think of a cat that has wings.
I think it's perfect. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
That's pretty lame, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'm kind of tired. Bear with me here. What really stands out, number one, is her color. It's kind of like a really light purple. That's not a color I follow. I'm not sure what it would be classified as. But you get the idea. I mean, right here is what I would consider like a brandished purple or something. Kind of fades out to almost like a pink on her wings. Same thing on the tail. Of course, the detail's not as well. There's not that bright pink is what the issue is. But just kind of like a really pale purple, almost like a gray cat, if that helps any of you out. But what really draws your eye in is the armor. This is what you see here. It's like a purple on a little I don't know what you would call that, a mitten, since she's a kitten. That sounds good to me. We'll go with that. On the kitten mittens, which have insanely awesome razor sharp claws, you got kind of the purple, the gold. Again, I'm not a huge fan of gold. I guess it ties in well with her. I wouldn't mind seeing it in like silver or some other, metallic color, but nonetheless, doesn't look too shabby in the gold. I think, given that she is a female character, at E3, they did mention they're making a push to actually have more female Skylanders. Give the girls a little something else. I know a lot of guys actually prefer the female characters. It helps when you have awesome ones like Roller Brawl. Chill, tons of Hex fans as well. But anyway, that was especially all the swappers were male. They didn't really know how to get around that. One way to increase the females when all the swappers are male is you just crank out a few more. That's kind of why we've seen Smolder Dash, Star Strike, so many Newlanders being female.
Smolder Dash isn't a guy?
Nope. But I have to say, looks very cool. I think my favorite feature on Scratch, would you call that a green, like on her eyes, kind of like the armor's mask? Careful, that's a knife.
Like a turquoise, maybe?
Yeah, it's really hard for me to tell exactly what color this is, but it's almost like a blue-green, basically. Yeah. We'll just call it blue-green because we can't determine exactly what shade it is. But it looks really good. Kind of is a small paint flaw here. I know some of you are purists, you want the perfect paint job or something. You can see the teeth. They are sharp like a cat. The armor obviously kind of mimics that. Pink inlays in the ear. She's got the fur note, the placement of kind of like a jewel. Really hard for you to see that, but then you've also got the jewel effects on top of the little kitten claws, if you will. You can see that. This is probably the best angle, honestly. Top down kind of 3/4 view for you. But that is Scratch, $9.96. This is not a Walmart exclusive. It's not some Walmart special. It's just they're the first ones to get them in. They hit in California roughly Wednesday, maybe of last week. They're kind of trucking their way across America. We got really lucky in landing these. Checked another store prior to that last night. They didn't have anything. Checked one today on a work errand. You got to multitask when you can. Interestingly enough, they had absolutely no signs of anything. This is a less trafficked store as well, so you would think they might have had them. But this is the Skylander out of this group that my nephew is the most excited about. That's why we let him do the story, read the stats, everything like that. We will cover in her introduction video. I'll walk you through all the upgrades. I'll probably get her upgraded pretty soon, to be honest with you. It'll just kind of tie in well with what we're doing. But Cat Scratch is going to be her main action attack. My nephew's super stoked about that. You think we should have her and Frino go at it?
Ooh, that
like a best out of 3. You control Scratch 2 times. I control Frino 2 times.
Yeah, that would be
fun. We may do something extra bonus like that. But again, $9.96. She's available at Walmart. If you don't like Walmart, if you don't have a store near you, if you prefer other retailers or Amazon, should be literally any time now you start seeing them pop up, within like a week, 10 days. It's somewhere else, I would think. So keep that in mind. That said, if you got to have her now, you're going to have to try to go through Walmart. On Twitter, I'll try to keep you updated if she does surface somewhere else. If there's links to GameStop or something, I'll post those up for you. That said, though, that is Scratch, $9.96. We found her at Walmart. Probably one of my favorite Skylanders to find, because she was literally, if I took all my Skylanders here, the unboxed ones, and just threw them on top of her, and then pushed them back under a shelf, and then threw a Disney sticker on top of that with stuff on pegs, it was that type of a deal. There shouldn't have been anything, particularly Skylanders, down there. Given the general disarray of the store, the Skylanders section was pretty bad too. It's like there's more stuff not on the pegs than there are on the pegs, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff on just...
Yeah, it's basically a mess. Just walk in your local Walmart and you'll probably see what I mean. Some of them are very well managed and actually stocked. Most of them are not. So take that picture, kind of your worst case scenario in electronics, toys, spin it all together, and then just imagine digging through something unrelated and finding this. We were pretty happy. So that said, that's Scratch. We'll come in here. You going to do Jetvac or Frino next?
Probably Frino.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do Frino. I'll have pictures, of course, on the blog link. If you click right there at the top of the video description box, I'll have her all the other current air element characters, everything like that. Of course, her and Jetpack dropped at the same time. Same with Fire. Kind of interesting. But her other Newlander counterpart is, of course, your cutest Skylander ever, beating out Wrecking Ball. It's Popthorn. He's also a cash cow.
How is that his counterpart?
Well, they're both air element Newlanders for Swap Force.
Oh.
So, of course, technically you got Free Ranger and Boom Jet, but we'll try to keep it simple for you. That said, that is it. We'll quit rambling. Gonna get the rest of these guys unboxed. If there's time, we'll do a throwdown between Scratch and Frino. But good luck landing her. I think she may. I know a lot of people stoked for her. Those of you that are neglecting her, thinking she's not going to be that great, you're not interested in her, don't like the aesthetic, something like that. Like I always say, get the Skylander, upgrade it. By the time you've played with the Skylander enough to earn the cash and you've upgraded it, your opinion will probably change. I think in this case drastically. It looks like she's going to be pretty freaking awesome. My nephew's been over there kind of scanning the upgrade sheet. You thinking she's going to turn out pretty sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than Sugar.
Yeah, better than Sugar. That's pretty sweet. But anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my nephew's channel, which is
The Walkthrough King.
That's correct. Make sure you're subscribed to both of us. That way, when new videos like this happen to pop up, you'll be the first to know. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. And as Scratch would say, it's the
Look of the Claw.